Hi guys. In this video we are going to be looking at how we can integrate the meta body morpher with the Metahuman customization system. The meta body morpher is actually quite different from the meta body tool, which is what we have here on the left. It is a morph target based customization system, whereas the meta body tool is a bone based customization system that works by manipulating the bones of your character. In order to use the meta body tool, in order to use the meta body morpher, we'll actually have to disable the meta body tool. So what are the advantages of the meta body tool compared to the meta body morpher? Okay, well, the meta body morpher, you can modify the clothing along with the character's body without actually creating morph targets for the character or for the clothing. It will all work together. So that is the main advantage of the meta body tool, which we have here. Okay. Whereas with the meta body morpher, it's more realistic. You can actually see like the changes in the muscles and proper actually shape of all the customization. Okay. Yeah, it just depends on what you want. If you do not have the time to put in the work of creating morph targets for your character and creating morph targets for the clothing so that it's customizable together with the character, then I recommend you just stick to the meta body tool. But if you do have the time to create the morph targets and you want a more realistic result, you can use the meta body morpher. Okay, so what I have here now is an additional file that has been added to the meta customization system on the Unreal Engine on the Fab marketplace. So once you've downloaded that, this is what you'll get in the zip file. Okay, you'll get a content folder and a body morpher project. So if you want to use this directly inside your meta customization system project, what you can do is because this can work as a standalone. It can also be integrated to the meta customization system. So if you plan on using it as a standalone, then just extract the zip file and open up your project file and maybe add it to whatever project you are working on. But if you want to integrate it with the meta customization system, you can simply just merge the content folder with your existing content folder. Okay, that also has the meta customization system and all your other project files. Okay, so that's what we'll do here. So let's say you've been working on a project already and you want to add this system. Or even if you haven't, you can still add it to the meta customization system. So just extract your content folder and let it merge with your current project's content folder. So we'll just say yes to merge it in there. And this will be a separate file over here. Okay. So you have your meta customization system and you have your meta body morpher over here. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's going to show the content straight out of the box. Let's just try and open it up. Okay, I see we can see all the content. Sometimes it delays to load, but it's loaded everything nice and quick for us. So this is our demo map for the meta customization system. So let's open up the demo map for the Metahuman body morpher. So I'll open up the female character, the female demo map, which has a female body. And the first thing you'll notice is it says apply or add a Metahuman body texture. Okay. So Let's open this up and add a Metahuman body texture. Let's find it in the content browser. So I'll right click and say browse to asset. And I'll open up BP female over here. And, we've got all our functionality in here. And what I want to do is I want to open up our viewport. And I'll select the body. And I'll search for this in the content browser, okay, by clicking that icon there. I'll open up that body. I just want it open so I don't have to find it again. And the next thing I'm going to do is, while leaving the BP female open and customizable female skeletal mesh open, next thing I will do, I want to apply a texture here because right now what I'm doing is I'm integrating it with the meta customization system. So if you've watched the tutorial for the meta body morpher already, you probably notice there's a difference in the process. So in this process, I don't actually need to change anything here, though I can, but I won't do that now. What I'll do instead is I'll open up my meta customization system folder. First of all, I'll go back to the demo map, which I just left. Okay, we're back on the demo map now. And in here, what I'll try to do next is I'll try and find our main Metahuman blueprint, which isn't in the level, but it does load when I press play. Okay, it's this one over here. So I'm going to open up my pre-made blueprints folder, and I will try to find the character that showed up when we pressed play. So that should be BP AMH female. Okay. So another thing you should keep in mind is this blueprint is the one, if you have already set up your meta customization system to work with your Metahuman, then that's the blueprint you're opening. You can do it on the fantasy RPG female or the male, or just the regular Metahuman female or male, or you can do it on the character that you have already set up the meta customization system to work with, meaning the Metahuman blueprint that already has all the meta customization system nodes. Okay, so if you are lost on what we're doing now, go back to the meta customization system tutorials, the original, the first tutorials for the meta customization system where you set up your meta customization system. You should be at this stage or maybe even further along in your own project. But yeah, that's what we're adding our system to. Okay, our meta body morpher system to. Okay, so now that we've got these three open, the next thing we're going to do is before we integrate the meta customization system, we might want to disable our meta body tool customization system, this one that we have on the left. You can do that by selecting the meta morpher, the meta styler in your level. Okay, and if you scroll down to the default variables that are available here, there should be a functionality that allows you to disable the body customization system. So here we have hide menus in play. Okay, so it's not on this blueprint, it's actually on this blueprint. Okay, so not the meta styler, the meta body tool. Okay, there is also a meta face tool, okay, if you want to do something with that, but there is a button here, hide menus in play. Okay, so if you enable this and click play, you see that this customization has now been actually removed. All right. right? It's not hidden, it's removed. Okay. So, well, actually, it's hidden. Yeah, it is hidden. Okay. So the next step we want is we want to add our new meta customization system, rather meta body morpher over here. Okay. So that's why we have to remove the old one, because if we add it while the old one is active, it's going to overlap. I'll probably show you an example of that so that you know exactly what happens if you have them both active at the same time. If you want to use both of them together, you can move the widgets around, but just keep in mind that the meta body morpher is a morph target based system, so there'll probably be some overlapping. So anyway, let's get started with the process. So this is our meta body morpher here. We're going to copy some of the things that we have here over to our BPMH female. Okay. So first thing I'll move is the body. Okay. This body is specifically designed with morph targets that allow for customization. Okay. So yeah, I found it in here, and I'm going to replace my meta customization system body here. Okay, or rather my original Metahuman body here. Okay. So my original Metahuman body is in Natalia. Okay. Metahumans. Natalia, my Metahuman's name is Natalia, and that's the body that I'm using here. Okay. So we'll stop using this one. We'll use the new one, which has actually some morph targets here. Okay. So yeah, let's find that in content browser. Let's go back to BPMH and let's replace that body. Okay. The first thing you'll notice is the texture is actually gone. I'll try and replace that, but I may keep it this way because actually the texture is going to be added dynamically. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is I want to assign the Metahuman skeleton, because I haven't assigned the Metahuman skeleton here. Okay. So I'll make a copy just in case of any issues. I'll duplicate that and I'll keep my copy there. And then I'll right click on my mesh, my SK customizable mesh, and I will assign skeleton. And I will search for Metahuman base skeleton. And it should be the one in the Metahuman folder. So Metahumans, common, female, medium weight, normal weight, body, should be this one. I have another one in the meta customization system body, but we're not using this. We're using the one in the Metahuman common folder. So choose that. Skeleton is 100% the same. There's no differences here. Just accept. Okay, so we have got that skeleton assigned. Let's click play and see what our result is now. Oops, we had a bit of a crash there. I'm using a PC with 16 gigs of memory right now. So if my usual computer has about maybe 48 gigs, so if you get some crashes, it's probably a low memory issue. So yeah, let's try that again. Click play. Okay, let's wait for it to compile, and we should be in now. I'm pretty sure it's working, but I don't think I saved the level. That's why this has come back. But if I click on the mesh of my character there, double click, yeah, SK customizable female. So we've got our customizable body applied here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and I'll hide that menu again just by clicking here and hide. Make sure to save this time. Okay, so like I said, there isn't a need to change the texture, but if you want, you can change the texture. But when we press play, the texture is actually dynamically updated because it's using the customizable textures that are already in the meta customization system. Okay, so what's our next step? I've hidden the menu, so let's now add our customization menus for our meta body morpher. So since my editor had shut down, means my blueprints are actually closed again. So I'm gonna open up the BPMH BPMH female. Actually, it's already open. So yeah, that's my customizable body there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some, copy some blueprint functionality from the meta body morpher and add it here. Okay, so the meta customization system is already set up. That's why all this is already here. So we're going to add, well, we already have a sequence here. If you don't have one from event begin play, you can add a sequence which leads to a functionality of your meta customization system. And another node will go to the meta body morpher. Okay, so let's open up the meta body morpher blueprint. So let's go to the meta body morpher folder and open the blueprints folder. And we're going to open up BP female since we're working with a female right now. We're going to copy all this functionality over to our main customizable Metahumans blueprint. So BP female, first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy the variables and the components. Okay. Some components that we may not need in this case are going to be the cinematic camera and the camera root, because they actually already exist in our meta styler, or in our, yeah, they exist in our meta body tool already, so we do not need those in this particular case. Okay, so let's only copy what we need for now. That will be is mouse button pressed, left rotation will not be needed, body wheel active, camera turning will not be needed, controls rotation will not be needed, link sliders will be needed. All right, so that's what we'll need. I'll go over it again once copying it. You'll see how I do it, and we will not be needing this functionality, AD turns camera. And enable input, because this is our camera controls which are already present in our current blueprints. Okay, so let's start with the variables first. Let's copy starting from is mouse button pressed. Let's copy that. That's from BP female, from our meta body morpher, to BPMH female for our meta customization system. So right click on the variables and click on paste variable. Okay. These will come at the bottom. You may want to create a folder for them. Maybe put them in a folder called BP, in a folder called meta body morpher, so you know which ones they are. Okay, so yeah, is mouse button pressed. We'll skip left rotation and we'll copy body wheel active. Let's copy that and paste it here on the variables. If we miss anything, we're going to get an error and we'll fix it as we go. Camera turning, we do not need that. Controls rotation, we do not need that. Let's grab link sliders and copy that. We'll come back to blueprint and paste that in the variables. Not in the library target, but just on variables. Let's paste that. Okay, so we've got his mouse button pressed, body wheel active, link, sliders. Is there anything else we need here? Let me just go through this. Okay, for now, that should be all we need. Okay. Let's now come to the graph and press Ctrl A. I want to copy everything here except for the few that I mentioned. So enable input, I'm just going to hold Ctrl and click and drag over that so that it's deselected because I don't need that. And I do not need event begin play. I'll click on that while holding Control, and I do not need sequence, so I'll click on that while holding Control. And let's make sure everything else is highlighted except for AD turns camera. So hold Control and drag over that entire part of the graph. I think we're good now. Let's right click and click on copy, or you can press Ctrl C. Let's go back to our Metahuman female blueprint here, and let's find somewhere to put this. So we don't want a whole big mess here. We're gonna have to move some things around. So I think I'll put the new blueprints. So I'll just put them over here, or even over here at the front. Can't really decide. Let me put them out here at the front. I think we'll have more space. So right click out here and press paste. Oh, you can press Ctrl V. I'll just type paste here and I'll click on paste here. Reset morph target. Some function references could not be resolved in the new context. How would we like to fix them? So we can create matching function, do nothing, or remove the nodes. Let's leave it on do nothing for now. If we need to do that, I remember there's something we can do to avoid this, but I forgot exactly what it is. But we'll just fix it when it's done. So let's leave it on do nothing and let's confirm. Okay. If we compile and get the error, okay, so there's some missing. Let's start with this one. Let's right click on this one. Okay, I definitely forgot what we're supposed to do there, so we're just going to fix it by typing reset morph targets on the error. Okay, so click on this one in case you haven't found it, and just delete this and type reset morph targets, and click on that event, and this should lead to this, and that particular error should be gone. Okay, so now we have some errors with the widget blueprints. It says they do not have connections. So yeah, we also have these errors here. Okay, and these simply just because of a missing connection. So the next thing we need to do is actually just connect this to the event begin play. So we'll grab this sequence. Okay, if you don't have one, like I say, just make one. Make a sequence that goes to your regular functionality, and a second node that goes to what we just pasted here, which we put far out over here. Okay, so let's connect that here. We could also do it by making a custom event so that we don't have this line running all the way through. The way you do that is just by right clicking, type custom, add custom event, and type let's say start meta body morpher, and connect that there. Okay, So disconnect that long line. Okay, you can keep it if you want, but you can use this method because it's much cleaner. You can say start meta body morpher. Come over here, start meta body morpher. Okay, if you want, you could even have it along this line somewhere, but it's fine like this. So let's compile that, and all our errors should be gone. Now we still have 2 errors we need to fix. Found more than one function with the same name. Custom event 2, custom event 3. Custom event 2, custom event 3. Okay. So we're just gonna fix these. What's our last one? Let's go to the last one, custom event 11. Make sure there's nothing else. And we're just going to rename these to 12 and 13. And 13, and compile that, and all our errors are gone. And I guess this should be everything we need. If not, we'll know once we click play. Let's save. Don't need any crashes. And click play. So now, as you can see, we now have our meta body morpher menu appearing over here. Just in case you did not disable, I'm sure you did, but this is what would happen if you do not disable the menus in the meta body tool. So let's and this is what it will look like. Okay, so maybe in a case where you want to use both the meta body morpher and the meta body tool, what I would advise is you move the widgets to another position. Okay, maybe you put them out here. You can reduce the sizes, have a smaller menu, or whatever you want, and you'd be able to work with both of them at the same time. But you would have to assign the animation blueprint for the meta body tool to the body that we made. Okay, so let's get back to business. Let's hide those menus and press play again and see what we have here. Let's do full body customization. Click on full. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. I do not want to have my character naked, but as you can see here, when I turn up the muscular slider, it clips through the clothes, and for it to work together with the clothing, I'll have to make morph targets for this clothing. Okay, but my customization is now much more realistic. Okay, because I will now even be able to see the muscles in the muscular body and all the rest of that. Let's get rid of this clothing, but like I said, I don't want to get a strike on my YouTube, so if I simply just remove it, the character will be actually bare. So what I'll do first is I'll add one more mesh here. So in my Metahuman body Morpher folder here, I go to meshes. There's a bikini here. Okay, I have a bathing suit. It's named bikini. I'll duplicate this, and I'll assign. I can use the duplicate. I can use the original one, but I'll just assign the skeleton. I'm clicking on assign skeleton there, and I'll add the original Metahuman skeleton. Metahuman base skeleton. So just to save time, because we're working in a project with the meta body tool and our metahumans, we can just grab everything and assign that to the metahuman base skeleton. We have no use of having them on the skeleton which is already in the project. So metahuman base skeleton. It's the first one, as I remember. Let's click on that, make sure everything is okay. I usually avoid doing this for all of them, but it tends to be a waste of time if you don't do them at once. So I'll just copy this text so I don't have to type it over and over again. I'll paste it. I know it's the first one, so just do the same thing for all of them. Copy the text, paste it, and choose the first one, or whichever one it is in your case. So all of them are assigned there. I'll save that out, and I'll grab the bikini. I don't need the duplicate that I made. I'll just delete it. In here, I'm gonna do one thing a little bit different. I won't add it to the torso, because if I add it to the torso like we did in the previous tutorial where we were just doing the meta body morpher standalone, if I add it to the torso or the feet or the legs, it will be replaced dynamically by the customization system. So I don't want that to happen. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate the torso. It'll be torso 1 for now, and I'll add the bikini over here. What that means, unfortunately, is that this will always be visible unless we make it invisible. Okay, but like I said, just doing it like this because I don't want to get a strike on my YouTube channel. So yeah, there it is. So this bikini actually has morph targets. So if I we'll have to make one more change. It won't work together with the bikini straight out of the box, but I can remove this clothing now. So I'll just go to my clothing menu over here. I'll go to my it should be the costumes, and I'll click on none. Okay, so yeah, we do have that there, but at the moment it is not working with the bikini. So let's make a correction. Okay, so the correction we need to make, or it's not really a correction, we need to make an addition. Let's go to the event graph. Right now, the meta body morpher is using the torso to add all its customization, the torso and some other body parts. So that is here. Okay, body, because we replaced it already, it works correctly, but torso has not been replaced because this works dynamically. Okay, so that's why we've created a new one. Okay, we don't want our original customization system to interact with our old torso here. Okay, so we're going to have to replace everywhere where we have torso in this blueprint, on this side of this blueprint. Okay, and not here with our original setup, but with the new setup that we pasted. We're going to have to replace torso with torso 1. Okay, so just come to customization sliders input, find customization sliders input, okay, and start replacing that. I'll start with this one. So replace torso, just drag it over closer to the edge there, drag it over so that it gets replaced. And find these should be about, there's 12 customization layers, and there's 2 torsos on each one, so it should be about 24 of these which you have to replace. So let's just quickly do that. And we're going to have to replace it over here, so that's an extra 4. So please make sure you're doing this in the right area. the blueprint is quite large now, so please be careful not to replace the wrong part of the system. So let's replace all of that. So where we are currently right now is at the loading part of the system. Okay, so this is where it loads the customization, and this is where it sets the customization through the sliders. Okay, now let's save that out, and everything should be 100% working now. Let's click play. Let's click full, and yeah. So there's a bit of overlap in here. I think this has been caused because our body is not using the same blueprint as the head. Okay, so you can even see in the lighting there's a bit of a cut there. So we're gonna fix that right quick. Okay. So yeah, our system is now working. Okay, we can also replace some of the textures if we want, maybe use a more masculine texture. But I did mention that morph targets allow us to add more fine details to our meshes. So if, for example, if I go to her belly over here and I use masculine, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see some fine details in there. The six-pack. The normal map isn't added yet, so it doesn't come out that much. But if I do add the normal map, you'll be able to see it working with the mesh there. So let's add that normal map. We can go to our Metahuman's texture. So this is up to you. You don't have to do this if you do not want to, but I'll just try and do that quickly. So I actually can't access the texture here from here. I'm going to have to access it from my meta styler. So I'll just open up my meta styler here. You can open it from the content browser. It is found in the meta styler folder, blueprints meta styler under the meta customization system. So if I just want to make sure I know exactly which texture my character is using, so I'm going to click on the skin button. So here I'm going to look for the first skin. So I'll go for body and material. Let's try number 2. So this one is Amelia Long. So let's open up Amelia Long. Scroll down to Metahumans. Open Amelia Long, materials, synthesized body. Search for normal and search for masculine. T, female, masculine, normal. Okay, T, female, masculine, normal. So when you type masculine there, sorry I'm being too fast, just choose that there. Okay. Okay, so now as you can see, we can see the detail in the normal map now. I'll click on full. And F8. I'll just hide this texture. Yeah, so as you can see, we get a bit more detail in our character's customization. The shapes are much more realistic. You can even see that she has strong legs and all the rest of that. But as I said, this does not work with clothing that does not have morph targets. So I've only done this because I've done it this way of creating an extra mesh and adding and replacing the torso because the current torso clothing does not have morph targets. Okay, so if I make some modifications, this is what happens. Okay, until I create morph targets for this current clothing, this is what is going to happen. Okay, I have a tutorial for creating morph targets already up on my YouTube channel. It should be the one right before this one. So yeah, there is a bit of give and take in the system because you do not get that automatic clothing adjustments with it. Okay, but this is the actually the traditional way of creating customization systems. The bone manipulation is, I don't know if I can call it a hack. It's becoming more mainstream for a lot of people because it saves the time of having to create morph targets. But yeah, when I create morph targets, I can get much more detail and much more realistic body shapes than simply manipulating bones. Okay. This is especially evident in the male character because you get that the biceps and the six packs really and the pecs really stand out. You can't get that result if you're using bone manipulation. Okay, so it's just one more thing we have to fix here. The neck and the rest of the bodies are actually not synchronized. So we need to add the Metahuman animation blueprint to this character. Yeah, so now we're just going to fix that problem. Let's open up our SK customizable female. Type post in the details panel there. Type post and then add your meta body to animation blueprint here. So anim BP body tool should be the same. Okay. Now press play. Your meta body tool is actually still active here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to just disable the meta body tool functionality. Okay. So let's press escape. The meta body tool, select it in the level and click on hide in menu. So let it be visible. Okay, there's two ways we can do this. We can, if we make it visible, what we would like to do is maybe deactivate or reduce these. Okay, deactivate them or reduce them. But since we have this menu on top, that's not going to work out. So what we need to do instead is we just the same blueprint that we added anim BP body tool. Let's find that in the content browser and completely disable the meta body tool so that now we are using we are using the meta body morph instead. Okay, so rather than disconnecting all this stuff, what I will do is I'll just bypass the meta body tool functionality in the animation graph. So let's open up the animation graph. And from input, where we go to next is input, default pose. We go to thigh size and all the way out to enable physics and final pose. So I'm just trying to see if there's any, you may have more functionality in here, but what I'll do is I'll just bypass. There should be some functionality in between here from the previous tutorial, the original Metahuman blueprint functionality in between here. Okay, so if you followed the previous tutorials, you are going to have some extra functionality in here. Okay, so your next, after that functionality, your next connection is going to be thigh size. So don't let it go to thigh size. Get the node that goes to thigh size and drag it all the way to the final pose. Okay, and then compile your results. Okay, so straight from right before thigh size, you connect it to output and you bypass all the meta body tool functionality here because we want it all disabled. If we want to use it again, we can just reconnect this pin over here and reconnect blend poses on the last set of nodes here to the final result. But for now, this is fine. Let's press play and everything should be back to normal. Okay, and basically that is how you can actually add the meta body tool, the meta body morpher to your meta customization system. And I will be working on a future update where I actually fully integrate the meta customization system into and the meta body tool together so that you'll be able to switch between the two or choose one without having to go through all of this. But as I mentioned before, if you plan on making morph targets for these clothing, I may make some morph targets for some of them so that it all works together. Okay, but if you plan on not replacing the torso nodes in BP in the female metahuman blueprint, if you don't plan on changing torso to torso 1, what you can do is you can create morph targets for the current existing meshes, and then you won't have to do that. If you create morph targets for the existing meshes, as in these meshes that we have existing here, then they will function with the meta body morpher. Okay, you may have to make some additions. I already talked about this in the previous tutorials. For example, we only have torso 1. Okay, so if you make some morph targets for legs, then all you have to do is drag the legs in there and add them there, and the morph targets will work for whichever mesh is on the legs. In this case, that would be these pants which we just showed so over here. But the main takeaway that you must go with is that you will need to name the morph targets exactly the same as the morph targets that are in the body. So if you make a curvy morph target for the pants, you're going to have to name it curvy, and then once you connect it here and press play, that morph target is going to work together with the customization system. Okay, with this system over here. Okay, that is exactly what was done with the bikini here. If I open up the bikini, you will see that it has the exact same morph targets as the body, and that's why it is able to function. Same morph targets: curvy, underweight, overweight, masculine, same as the female body: curvy, overweight, underweight, masculine, blah 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 blah. So yeah, this is basically how you can actually integrate your meta customization system with the meta body morpher. But as I've said several times, if you do not want to make morph targets, just keep using the original bone system. If you have the time to build morph targets, then you can use the system. You can create your own morph targets for the character. Maybe do something that turns the body into something like a monster or any of that. and we've got your upper customization there. If you only want to do the upper body, maybe you want an overweight mid body or masculine mid body. Yeah, you have those options. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.